Hello. Uh, this should be the fourth Orby report, and I found some really cool graffiti a while back. Vexor, one of my favorite ships. Vexor cruisers are hilarious, good fun. Yeah. Anyway, so Orby for the last day. I went to the Scarred Coast and started mining in a Rupture. I've got a bait fit Rupture. Basically, the goal is to look juicy for human resources or player hunters to come in and engage with a target that's too thick to be killed, right? And any ship can mine the base. I think any ship that can field 3 basic high slots can beat just a standard issue venture. I might be wrong on that. It might be 4. It's been a minute since I wrote that part of the book. But I'm pretty sure 3 is all you need, and you can do better than at least a venture trainer for sure. Maybe a venture. I know it's close. It doesn't matter when the goal is content. I don't really care if I get the rocks or not, which means I get a lot more rocks over time because I'm willing to do silly things, which is weird. It's strange, that mentality and how it works, but I'm building a lot of wealth really quick. I have enough minerals at turnback ITC to kill 10 retrievers. I can build 10 retrievers, and that was the ITC that I started moving into once I finished the Alpha Life book and got Omega. So that's real quick. That's just stripping and turning big rocks into small rocks, and it really doesn't take much to start mass producing ships. So industry is definitely the route for ISK over time, but also for content. So I threw down that Rupture, did some can mining out at Scarred Coast while I wrote. Finished off one of the earlier chapters that I skipped in Dead Saint Songs, and started editing through what I'd written previously. And I posted most of that online, but I'm going to change things probably on the next pass. But a good round of editing today, a good chunk of writing, and I made some pretty good progress on East of Ares as well. I think I've got most of a game done and ready for playtesting, so that's going to be fun to play with. Anyway, that Rupture didn't get got. I farmed out there until I got red scanned, noticed the red scan, and jumped off, and then jumped back because I wanted to fight. Well, not necessarily a fight, but to play with the hunter. Anyway, so jumped out, jumped back, got a second red scan, and at that point I was already 100 kilometers off of origin in my Rupture, and I had a can among the rocks, and a Garmer jumped in. Now, a Garmer is a stupid fast missile boat. I think it's Sanchez Nation or something like that. It's one of the pirate factions, and they're kind of in the same class as Sisters of Eden, or Sisters of Eve, excuse me, the Astero. They're very specialized, and instead of a turret, they use missiles, and their missiles are built to go stupid fast. They're the most rush down ships available out there. And this guy was hauling, so he chased the Rupture out to 100 kilometers, and I was already pre-aligned. I jumped off to a station, grabbed a venture, and started playing Steal the Bacon with this guy. So the first time I jumped into the system, I aligned to a random planet. Turns out it was the wrong planet. It was a planet that was right next to the station that I was keeping my venture in. There's only one station in Scarred Coast. But I grabbed the venture to move rocks. Ventures are good miners, but they're even better rock haulers. Any ship can mine. Any ship can be an okay miner so long as it's got at least 3 high slots. But ventures are for their price point, really good at moving rocks. And I think I had 3 hauls from that box. Anyway, so first time I jumped into the mining anomaly, the belt, I landed right on top of the Garmer's face, and he's like, "All right, thanks, free kill." Pop, killed the venture. And like I realized my mistake immediately after I made it, so I jumped back to the station. He's waiting in that belt because he's got the crime timer on him, right? If he tries to run away, Concord's gonna blast him on the gates. There's no way he can leave that system. So he's locked in. And like my goal isn't to kill him, it's just to give him a target and mess with him. Like I want him to lose. Like I don't need to win to make him lose. But stealing the rocks out, my rocks, the rocks that I farmed and put in that can, out from under his attack, like felt really good. So first time I jumped in to Origin, grabbed rocks from the box, moved them back to the station. Cool. Then I jumped back in at 100 kilometers, baited him towards where I was at, and then jumped to a different station or a different planet, and then back to Origin. He didn't move back to Origin while I was out because he didn't realize that. I don't know if he realized that I was stealing the rocks out from under him, but I kept stealing rocks. I got 3 hauls, 3 loads, doing that, back and forth, playing with the Garmer. And like I think I really got my money's worth out of his faction frigate. It was really good fun. After that, I started running things around in Cinnabon. So I love courier ships. Oh, we're about to get the train coming by. So, speaking of faction ships, I've got a Cinnabon that I use basically as a courier. I expanded its cargo hold, so it's got about as much as a probe explorer, or I think I got it up to around an Imicus, not explorer, covert ops. It's got about 1,200 cubic meters of cargo space, and a warp speed of I think like 7 AUs, which is pretty good. Probes, not probes, what are they called? Shuttles. Shuttles go 6 AU, and that's literally the only reason they exist, is to warp fast and move a body from one place to another. But the Cinnabon, I ran goods around, did a transport mission where I fell asleep, and thankfully I've got the delivery skill leveled up, I think into the 3rd, into expert, so I can open boxes if I fail to deliver, which means like I can buy random things through the delivery system, kind of like one of those lot buys, like from storage lockers and storage locations. It's a nice little mini game, but it's not profitable. Well, it can be if you get lucky, but I'm not going to steal people's stuff. I'm not going to pay for goods that I don't know what I'm getting. And what came out of the box was a bunch of Mark III, Mark V lasers. Nothing crazy. But I realized that I had one of my own boxes from the Alpha Life book, Orion's Belts, that I'd forgotten to open. So it was Christmas. I messed up, but I was able to like turn it into a kind of win. Felt good. After that, I know I popped a couple cameras today. I stripped the shields off of one of Meow's stations, and I'm going to start outfitting my stealth bomber fleet again and see if I can harass corporations out of the route between Turnback ITC, Hexrex, and Orion's Belts. I'm going to start harassing people off of maps, or at least see if I can get some attention, get some people to come after me, because I don't need to like win a fight to have a fight. Survival is winning, especially these days. And I think that's everything for Orby. Good writing, good design work. I might start drafting the rules book again for East of Ares. We'll see. I definitely want to keep going on Dead Saint songs, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do for Orby tomorrow. I know I just finished another retriever. I need to station that somewhere, probably in high sec, because I've moved all of... Oh, that's the other thing. I moved my best retriever out to Hexrex, and I feel really nervous about that build, because it's got a Higgs boson anchor on it. Nope, one more train. Hold on. Say hi! All the lonely people, where do they all come from? So yeah, Higgs boson anchors. Now, like, it's a weird rig because it slows down the inertia modifier. Like, it makes ships slower, makes them less maneuverable, slower overall. The only time you really want to use it is if you've got prep time for a belt or a location where you want to like post up and sort of slowly move past a target to do some sort of operation. Like, it turns a 10-second align time into a 30-second align time, which, like, a dead sloth can catch you if you're trying to move off of a point with that sort of speed. So, like, I'm really nervous flying this retriever around, even though it's like the cheapest stripper available. It's the one that I have my Forest Nano on, so it's the best that I have. I had it stationed at Cake Island, but I found I wasn't using it. So I took it and I threw it into a C7, level 7 compressed space, and it is just, it's cool that I can set a route and then just forget about it, because it's going only 130 meters per second, stripping as it goes, which is cool. Like, I don't have to babysit it, but I kind of like babysitting my ships. It's a nice pace breaker for when I'm writing, a means of establishing tension and release, because all writing is a form of emotional processing. So, like, if I stress myself a little bit and then relax, I can get little bursts of insight and inspiration by mining, or, you know, interacting with Eve echoes just in general, whether that's grabbing planetary or manufacturing goods. I made a bunch of rigs. I love making rigs. I don't really sell them. I just kind of like use them on my fleets. But it might be time to go through and do cleaning out the closet a bit, since I've got a lot of stuff posted up in Orion. I actually kicked around the idea of like shipping everything that I had in Orion's belts out to Turnback ITC. And that's scary enticing, considering like the thousands of data cores that I have there. And I don't want to like risk what I have established. Like, the whole point of writing Orion's belts and talking about alpha life and taking advantage of low sec and coastal transition points between low sec and null sec was to have Orion's belts be kind of like the focal base for all my operations moving forward. And I'm going to keep that. I'm staying there, but the temptation was strong, especially since, like, playing with the delivery system today further reestablished how powerful it is, even though folks don't really think it is. It's insurance for goods. You can move stuff, and like the prices are unacceptable beyond maybe 10 hops. But in low sec, if you're like, I don't think there are any ITCs that are more than 8 from each other in low and high sec. So moving goods, like, step by step by step is really easy. And you don't even really need, and by goods I mean like mountains of ore or minerals or like anything that you want to transport around. You don't need a specialized ship to do that. And the prices on transports are ridiculous. I want to start mass producing transports. I want to keep mass producing ventures. I've got the minerals for it. I just need the planetary materials. And I'm starting to get piles of what I need for ventures, at least. I'm building steam there. But for the other, for the transports, I haven't looked into what those require. I don't have the blueprints for them. I've got a mountain of blueprints for retrievers. Those are like really easy to research. And I think that might be the first blueprint that I commit to selling, because most of the blueprints on the market are overpriced. Most of the items on the market are overpriced because the actual markets exist in corporations. It's an open field. Like, industry in Eve Echoes is easy. Oh, I posted up minerals on Clover, Jita. at the resting bitch price. I want to see the conversion rate, like how fast it takes to move goods through the market. Mexilon, like at the resting bitch price, what people were posting up for sold within the hour. Trit and Pyrite, I don't expect to move at all. Isogen, and I think that's where I stopped. I might have done Megasite as well. I wanted to see both the top end and the lower end because I suspect all of the interest in Eve Echoes and like in any sort of mimetically crystallized society where security and fear drive people to basically get hyper I want to say fascy, but like it's pretty clear that fascism is in these days. But it's also really trite to describe that socio-psychological melange. Stupid words. I'm drifting off topic. I need to stay on Eve Echoes. Basically, all the focus is on the top end and the bottom end, because that's what is easiest to gather. Zydrine is so easy to farm right now. It's so easy to make ISK off of it, and like it's the choke point for most industrialists because they don't focus fire on Hemorphite. They're getting their Zydrine from Crocite, which is less mass efficient. Which, like, cool. That means alpha players and folks who aim for the top end of alpha have a free game. There is no resting bitch price for Zydrine is kind of like the key tell. Noxium is in the same boat. Mexilon was a surprise. I didn't expect it to move as fast as it did, but it moved like within the hour. So I think the main benefit in mass production and manufacture is the conversion rate for tritanium and pyrite. Considering that's the bulk of what any ship takes in to produce, it's going to be really easy to get Plex. Especially like with this Omega Life that I've started out in Turnback. I'm probably going to spend more time in Orion once I start cooking my retrievers. But that's pretty much the long and short of everything I've got going on over the last day. Moving forward, I've got some missions saved up. I bought I bought one of the Tech 7 mission starters for the Orion's Belts book, Alpha Life. But I ended up not using that. Like I don't want people to focus on missions because it's really time inefficient. It's good for ISK. It's bad for wealth. You don't gain modules. You don't gain Rex. You don't gain resources, which you can flip those a lot more easily. The liquidity is nice, but it's not. If you chase money, you end up not having it. I don't know. It's been interesting, and it's probably gonna. I'm hoping it stays interesting. I'm going to start stripping shields off of stations. I'm going to do a survey. I might run around in a Rifter just to make it interesting. Not being able to see chat is really nice. It's a lot of fun not knowing like what's out there potentially chasing, or if there's potential for a bubble on any specific gate. You got to like really move cautiously. So I might treat myself to that, or I might take the Zendaya down. I'm thinking I'm going to take out the Zendaya. That way I can explore while surveying. She's overdue. I've had her posted up. Okay, I have 2 of the same fits. They're Stabber Fleet issues built for exploration. And they've got 3 miners on them, like 3 low-level mining lasers. And then 2 large rapid-fire missile launchers. It is totally off meta. It's the stupidest, most silly, wonderful build. It's made for finding and surprising, hopefully, other explorers out in the wild, but nobody really explores these days. Even though like in Discord, I saw one of my friends talking about how they got 200 million ISK over an hour and a half, which is really good. They must have found some of the donuts, the reverse engineering accelerators and things like that, and flipped those. And another guy comes through and he starts talking about like dead spaces and like, that's nothing. I make 400 million ISK. I make double that in the same time. And I'm like, how much did you spend for the ship to do that? And he's like, any cap can do it. Capital ships are like billions of ISK, and here's this dude like proud of making 100 million, which, okay, it's a factor of 100 off. Like, you are still in debt if you do that 100 times. Maybe. I think that's right. It's either 100 or 1,000. It's really close. Either way, he's still in the negative. Whereas like a blue scanner costs 2 million. And I tried to raise prices on that because I don't want I want to corner the market on exploration. I've got 1,000 blue scanners and they just keep coming on there. There are so many blue scanners stockpiled out there and nobody using compressed space. Like, it's like I'm playing 10 characters at once just by knowing to move without rhythm or to walk without rhythm. I don't know. It's silly. Regardless, it's been a fun day, and hopefully tomorrow's just as good. How are you, stranger? If you're watching this, hopefully not. I'm not going to do any sort of metadata or tagging. I hope that whoever first finds these little Easter eggs of mine has a wealth to go through. Have a good one. Bye.